So let's solve a problem. This is going to be premise number one. Premise number one. Both of my markers are dying. Alright, let's use, and I hate the green. Well, we'll use the green. I need to get green markers. Premise number one. Premise number one. P and Q. If P and Q, then P, then if P, then R and S, and then premise number two is P and Q, and T, and the conclusion we're trying to reach is, is that RS? No, it's R. Yes, R. I think I wrote that wrong. I think that's right. Okay, we'll see in the logic if I wrote it down right. P and Q. If P and Q, then if P, then R and S. Okay, and if and P and Q and T, and we're trying to get R or S. Okay. All right. Boom. So we're just gonna solve, right? We're just gonna solve. Line number 3. Let's break this up. So we have P and Q from line 2 simp. And you can go through the videos in 4 through 8 to see, and also have the rules posted up so you can see how simplification is applied to this, right? We have line 4, we'd have T and P and Q, which is line, what would that be, line 2, commutation, okay? Then we go to 5, so we have, no, we have P and Q by itself. Let's get T by itself. So then we have T from, and I'm just sort of freestyling it. It's probably a more efficient way of doing this. T from 4 simp. What's the conclusion we're trying? We're trying to get R and S. Where's R? Here's R. So we have P and Q on 3. So we have if A, then B, A, therefore B. So we can do modus ponens on 1 and 3. So we have P, if P, then R and S, and that's 1, 3 and P. If P, then Q, P, therefore Q. We got that. Okay, we're just trying to get here. Okay, now we want to get the P isolated so we can get R and S. So we got 7. I did a few steps I didn't have to do, but who cares? So let's do here. Let's do simp here. So we have P, and that would be simp on 3. Where am I at? Simp on 3. 3 simp. Okay, now we can get R and S. 8, we can get if P, then Q, P, therefore Q. So now we can get R and S, and that's modus ponens on 6 and 7, 6, 7, and P. Then we go to 9. Now we do, what am I trying? Yeah, now we do 9 and we get R. We get R and 9 from simp on 8. 8 simp. And then you know, lastly, 10, we get R or S, and that would be 9 addition. And there we go. Right, so we've deduced it, right? Not overly complicated analysis. We know that this is valid because given the 2 premises that we had, we're able to arrive at the conclusion. So that's, you know, no fanfare for that. What I want to do though, is just as an exercise to show you, and you know, I'm going to leave the discussion to go on from here. I'm not going to get into it more than this series of videos that I'm doing, but it would be interesting to see what people have to say in response to some of these ideas, especially when your propositions get extremely complicated. We now know that we can symbolize all of this using our Polish notation system, right? So let's do it. Okay. What's the equivalence? What's the equivalence here? Right. So what we're effectively going to do is reconstruct the formal proof for validity within a symbolic claim in the Polish notation system. That's, to be extremely technical, what we're going to do, and we're going to show equivalencies throughout the entire argument. First thing that we do is the main connector is here, is the conditional, so we move the main connector out. we see that the main connector is a conditional, and we know that conditional is represented by C. So it's C. Then we see that the subconnector inside is a conjunct. We see that the conjunct is represented by K. So then we have K. Then we recognize that our two statement letters are PQ. We have PQ. We've symbolized this first piece, right? So CK, PQ, first piece. Next piece, main connector is a conjunct again, represented by C. Next main connector is a conjunction, which is represented by K, K, and then R and S, RS. This is exactly the same as this. They're completely synonymous, right? Polish notation system, sort of abbreviated version of this claim. Equivalencies across the board. Next thing, equivalencies again. Main connector, conjunction. Conjunction is K, K. Main connector, conjunction. Well, no, K. Now we P and Q, P and Q. Next main connector is K, and then lowercase t. Exactly the same thing. Conclusion we're trying to get to, R or S, or disjunct is A, R and S, R and S. This is represented as that. So this means exactly the same thing as that. The point is we need to increase our efficiency to where we can, why not symbolize it like this, right? I can look at this and see that my first main connector is a conjunct, right? So, and this connector is an and. So, P and Q, if, it would be if P and Q, then, right? And then we go on with our analysis. Did I forget a P here? I think I did forget a P. Wait, hold on. It's a good thing I went back and looked at that. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. P and Q. Yeah, I forgot a P here, sorry. It's a good thing I looked at that. It would be C, P, then A, no, not A, K, K, R, S. Sorry about that. It's a good thing I looked at that. Okay, so that's that. Let me check this one again. This is K, P, Q, K, T, A, R, S. Okay, good. Now we go to the next, line 2. Now this begins our proof, right? Our proof begins, and what you'll see is how this is demonstrated within the proof, right? Which will really sort of further demonstrate, because if this is true and this is valid, then this has to have the same structure. And what you'll see is this, as we get to the last line, is that it does maintain the same structure. Okay, so now we take the conjunct out. Conjunct is K, K, P, Q, right? And this is 2 sim, right? So what you'll see is that this is, and this is, I got excited when I recognized this, is that this is right? KPQ, KT, right? We know that this K is a conjunction, right? We've eliminated this other conjunction, the KT, and we just have KPQ. So this, in a sense, was transmitted down, right? That's what happened, and it's 2 simplification on that. So we know that that works, right? Now we go to the next line, right? The next line, we take our conjunction out. Conjunction is K, so we have K. We take our P. We take our other K and T, KT. We take our other conjunction out, which is K, and then we have PQ, and this is commutation on line 2. So it's 2COM, right? That has the same format. We take, let me make sure I did that right. K, T, K, PQ, and it's 2COM. Let's look at line 2. You can see that line 2 has been flipped perfectly. So you know that that's right? Here's KT, KT, KPQ, KPQ. We flipped it, right? So you know that that's right. It's the whole point of me doing this is to prove to you, right, that these notation systems are completely interchangeable, right? So when people are saying, "Oh, that's great, but it's only, it's only symbolic," or, it's not as advanced as some other form, that's just false. It's just categorically false. It's all the same. If you really, really understand your logic, then you can understand all of this, because it's all interrelated. And and you can see that the proof for a formal proof of validity within, this is symbolic logic, can be replicated exactly within the Polish notation system and maintain the points of justification. Same rules of inference, nothing is changed. Commutation on line 2, commutation, we see how they reply. Right? Line 4 is just t, right? So that's easy. So now we just have t, and that's simp on 4. 4 simp. And t was 4. So there we go. We just have this claim by itself, right? We know that simplification is p, p and q, and then we can then just have p. So that's what we've done right here. We've brought down the t. And I guess it should be caps, but you do see that the small case t and the big case t they're completely interchangeable. All right. Next is line 6. We pull out our conjunction. So we have, just so you can see it, we have this. Right. So this is step 1. Step 2, just so that I'm clear, I feel like I might be going too fast. Pull this out. Right. So we have this. Right. Then we pull this out, so that we have. Then we substitute. And that's that. And I think that's right. Okay, so we have C, P, K, R, S, and that's modus ponens on 1 and 3. 1, 3, MP. CPKRS, same thing, right? I was able to get this CPKRS here by using modus ponens on 1 and 3, right? And you can see how it works, right? This was able to contribute to this. And just to show you, because it might be a little confusing, and I'm sure it is, because like as I said, this is not the most intuitive process of proof, but what I wanted to do is 2 parts. I wanted to demonstrate the validity, but also demonstrate through a deduction, but also demonstrate the equivalence between the systems, right? And also demonstrate that the rules for inference apply to obviously the notation system. So this would be something like, well, actually, I don't want to complicate it. Yeah, I'll leave it at that, because if I get into it, it'll get too complicated. Okay, but you see modus ponens here. We have P. So this is all the same. P simp on 3. Where's 3? 3. This is line 3. And I've done a simplification on. We see that there is P and Q. I brought the P down, so I'm gonna, that's right. And that's 3 simp. All right. R and S. Simple. We bring we have R and S. We bring the conjunct out. Replace that with a K R S. So we have K R S. So we have K R S, and that's 6, 7 MP. Right. Hopefully this is not too small. I'll erase all this other stuff in a little bit. 6, 7 MP. Almost done. Then we go to the next line. We have R, and that's R right there. This R comes down. R, and that's 8 simp, just like before. And then finally we have our conclusion, which is this. This is what we want, right? So our disjunct is represented by A. Here's what we were given before. So we pull this out, A, R, S. And that's what we're trying to get. Therefore, A, R, S. So we get to A, R, S. There you go. It's super powerful. I can't describe how powerful it is to understand this, right? It's not, people say, symbolic logic is just so basic and there really isn't much that you can do. Modal logic is better, or sentential logic is better, or set theory is better, or, all of this stuff is better, it's harder. It's not. It's all the same thing. This is proof that it is all the same thing. The point of recognizing that all of this is interchangeable is a recognition that what we're doing is the same work. And the question is, what becomes more intuitive, right? Well, this might be more intuitive, but the way that this became intuitive was that we learned the symbols. Can we use a system that preserves an alternative system to the traditional system? Here's the old school. And the new school is like, well, the old school is sort of Aristotelian. The new school is like 1920-ish, right? Which is still old, but it's new for logic, right? It's hard to make advances in logic. But this is like, 1920s, 1930s. But it's pretty damn new, right? So this is the new school. And the whole point is to prove that the old school is exactly like the new school, right? The old school, the old way of doing it is exactly like the new way of doing it. So for those of you young academics who are just watching this video, it'd be awesome, right? If you have a symbolic logic exam for your professor, this would be great. And if you do this, like, respond in the comments and tell me that you did it, because I would just be, it'll just tickle me to death, right? And your logic professor gives you like these two premises. And you give your logic professor the formal proof of validity using the Polish notation system. Yeah, it doesn't get more nerdy than that, right? It's beautiful. And not only is it beautiful, I don't want it to seem daunting, right? I want you to see that, yo, I can do this. I mean, I can do it, so you can do it. It's just practice. So, and not only can you do it, but it's valid. It's necessarily valid, right? This is a valid system of notation. Not only is it a valid system of notation, we see in the previous examples that it's all interrelated, right? Nano operators, the discussion of, I haven't done predicate yet, predicate logic and symbolic logic, it's all interchangeable. With that being said, let me do the last, see, this is why I don't use the green, because the green is so hard to erase. Where's my other bastards?